Is that just the low beams? Not too bad.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Eddie's Customs and Restoration.
And here we have the AUXITO LED headlights, Y19, and the color on these is 6500 Kelvin, also known as 6500K. And basically I'm just kind of skimming through the unboxing of this because I know that this is not really the important part of this video. However, people still like to see sometimes what it all comes with. So as you saw, it came with a couple little gloves, which is neat to have in case you don't want to get dirty in this process. It gives you a little book which tells you the information of the lights and what the package includes. And over on the right, it gives you a very important detail, which is how to set the orientation of your LED bulbs when you install them into your headlight housing. Now moving on to the installation process. It's not exactly the most important process, but some people might be interested in seeing the before and afters, seeing the old light bulbs come out and getting the new ones installed, and well, to see the difficulty level of this installation. So on this is a third generation Ford Expedition, meaning it's from like 2006 all the way to 2017. And well, just that simple. You take the old bulb out and then you clock it over, as you saw me do, clocked it over to the left and then right hand turn, and then now the orientation of that LED is pointing north and south. It's up and down. So here what I'm doing is I'm actually adding a little bit of super lube. It's basically a dielectric grease. The reason I do this is basically to allow the rubber seal that is located on the male end of this plug, this being the female end, it allows that basically that gasket to fully accept and glide into this new connector. And as you saw, always make sure that your connection is good and tight. I gave it a tug on the first one and that clip actually had not fully clipped on, so it ended up popping off. So here we are, just putting the light back up together. I secured everything with zip ties there just so that the wires are not dangling around. And now it's time to put our headlight back on. Now verifying before you finish the job is always a good idea. I didn't do it, but it's definitely good practice. Now once you verify that your light works, it's time to move on to the other side. And just like the other side, take the old bulb out, put the new one in, and do the orientation top to bottom straight line as it showed in the instructions. Do your lubrication on your connectors, zip tie all your wiring, that way everything's not just dangling around. And once again, test the headlight to make sure it works before you put everything back together. Alright, now here we are in a very dark field. I went ahead and parked the vehicle in the exact same location for the comparison. So first we'll be starting off with the old headlights. These are the old halogens. You see the high beams just turned on, and I'm going to switch off between the high beams and low beams here a few times. So this is back to the low beams. So as you can see, the performance of my original headlights was not very good and the projection was pretty poor. So now let's bring in the AUXITO Y19 headlights and see how they compare to these old halogen bulbs. And bam, there we go. So we're in business now. As you can tell, I'm pretty much imitating the same thing here. Right here we are on the high beam setting on both the halogen being at the bottom and the AUXITO headlights being on the top. This is the exact same location. As you can see, the AUXITO headlights have a lot more flood. And flood being basically what you see at the edges of your beam. So on the halogen bulbs, which are the originals, you really couldn't see the grass nor that fence line on the side. And on the AUXITO, which is our top view, on that one you can clearly see all the grass and debris and stuff that is in that field. And whenever I turn on the high beams, right now we're on our low beams, So whenever we do turn on our high beams, it literally throws that beam super far ahead. I'm talking, I mean, it almost seems like a quarter mile ahead of you that you can see. However, right now we are currently on the low beam setting, and as you can see, there's a hot spot right in the center. You can actually see a lot of what is directly in front of you as compared to the originals. You really couldn't see that bright hot spot right in front of you. So if there was potholes or things like that right in front of you, it was kind of difficult to see. And of course, now we have the added bonus, which is now we're able to see off to the sides. This is kind of like adding peripheral vision to your truck or to your car. This is a bi xenon. I want to call it bi xenon, but this is not HIDs. This is an LED. And this is a dual beam LED. This is an H13, which is what this vehicle takes. So this is a high and low beam in one single bulb. So we're going to do a couple more views here. We came back to that dirt road, and we're going to do a high beam setting now, which is what we're on right now. And if you notice, compared to before, now you can actually see the top sides of all the grass and everything like that, and you're able to see way up ahead of you a lot more. As compared to the high beams on the bottom, you were pretty much now able to see about 2, maybe even 3 times further out in front of you than what you can with the halogens. And I mean, look, you can even see up the trees and everything. And mind you, I didn't adjust these headlights. These headlights are exactly the same as they were with the bottom, as in with the old headlights. They're exactly the same. Settings didn't change other than light bulbs. So there was no altering to give these lights any kind of a better review or anything like that. This is on a personal vehicle. I have no benefit of giving these lights a higher rating than what they deserve. This is just my genuine opinion. I do think they are very well worth it. And if and when they do fail, I will be buying another set of these headlights for this truck. Why? Because I do think that they will save my life, since I do a lot of cross-country driving and everything when I do my towing jobs and everything. So it's definitely nice to have a little more of that peripheral view. And speaking of views, here's an outside view of these headlights. And that's the way they look on the vehicle. And that's a side view. High beam. And low beam. And of course, we had to have somebody out there flashing lights at us. So now here we're on a 5-lane or 4-lane road with a center lane. That is our high beam setting. And we'll kind of pan the view here off to the sides. So see, you have plenty of flood. And this is our back to our low beam. Very bright front section right in front of you. Here's another view. Different road. High beam. Now we got a little bit of oncoming traffic, so back to low beam. And here we are with some other lights in the mix. We got some tail lights and some headlights coming towards us. As you can see, there's still plenty of light in front of you. Doesn't get eaten up by the surrounding lights at all. Well, I do hope you found value in this video. If you did, please hit that like button so that it lets YouTube know that this is good content. And consider subscribing for more automotive videos. Until next time, y'all be safe.